Hey guys, welcome back to New York Sports MC. Today we're going to go through a 2.0 of our mock offseason for the New York Jets. Um, if you didn't check out my mock 1.0, I am going to link it above, as a lot of the same cuts and Jet free agents that we are going to look to retain are very similar to that 1.0. So this is just another way where Joe Douglas and the Jets organization can look to improve this team to get us into that playoff contention. So the cuts are going to be the same. The re-signing, we're going to extend Jamal Adams, re-sign Poole, who I think is the biggest Jet personal inside free agent to re-sign, Beachum, Jenkins, and Burgess. So if you want to check out the deals that I had us giving them, check out that mock 1.0 where I went into the contract details. But let's jump right into free agency. And this is not where I was going to go with my 2.0 mock draft, but I did see Connor Hughes mention of The Athletic that the Jets could be very aggressive and sign Thuney and or Scherf. Said it would not be out of the question for both of them and would strongly think that we would get at least one. So I didn't think that we would be able to pull off two of these, especially two of these guards, in free agency. But I said let's have fun and let's put us as securing both Thuney and Scherf. I think you're gonna have to pay both of them around $14 million a year, which would make them both pretty much top guards in the league. Spending a lot of money on that interior line, but we do have to protect Sam Darnold. So Scherf on $14 million a year, Thuney $14 million a year. With those two contracts in place, plus the extension of Jamal Adams, this is really putting a dent in the cap space that we had available coming into the year. So I have two other free agent signings for us this year. I had us going with Bradley Roby, so roughly $7 million for him. I feel like when he went over to Houston, he did play pretty well, helped secure that secondary for them. I like him as a cornerback number 2 for us. I know we don't have our number 1 yet, but we need to start somewhere. I had us cutting both of our starting corners from last year, so we need to bring in some people. And also, as you guys might have seen, Robbie Anderson looks like he's not returning, so I have us replacing him with Brashad Perryman. I think Perryman can do a lot of the same things. He came on really strong towards the end of the year, but really only has a few games to show for it. So I think Perryman's more going to be along the lines of a 1-year prove-it deal wherever he goes. I have us getting him here on a roughly $7 million contract as well. I could see it being a little more, a little less, maybe a little less with the incentives to bring it up a little bit higher based upon catches, yards, touchdowns, kind of like what I said with Funches in that 1.0. So that's it. That'll wrap up free agency for us, bringing 2 guards, bringing a corner, and a wide receiver. So now let's hop right into the draft. Pick number 11. I did the draft actually on the mock draft simulator on the draftnetwork.com. So I picked for us, obviously, at number 11, I had Andrew Thomas. Help shore up that offensive tackle. So now our 2 tackle spots are secured with Andrew Thomas and Kelvin Beachum. In the second round, I actually have us going with Damian Arnett from Ohio State. I really like this pick as Arnett is the type of corner that would fit right in with Greg Williams. The only thing is he's not. Greg Williams really likes those like 6'2" type corners. I mean, Arnett is 6 foot tall, but he's a press man corner. I think that would be somebody that Greg Williams would really, really want in his secondary. We have to improve these corners. And I think when you put Arnett along with Roby and Poole in the slot, now our corners are much, much improved from last year. So I like Arnett there in the second round. So now let's come to the third round where we're going to go with Michael Pittman Jr. of USC. If you guys have not been following my channel, you know that I am pretty high on Pittman Jr. I like the fact that he's a big-bodied 6'4" wide receiver. He has some history with Sam Darnold, which is great because we have Robbie Anderson leaving, all these other people leaving. So bringing a familiar face for Sam Darnold, he can make the contested catches to really help him out. So I have Michael Pittman in the first pick in the third round. Second pick in the third round, I have Nick Harris, center from Washington. He was a 3-year starter. He played both guard and center, which I really like, his versatility. Obviously, in this mock, we don't need him playing guard. We just brought in Scherf and Thuney on big money deals. but it's always good to have flexibility on the roster, right? Never know if somebody could potentially get hurt and have them shift over, kind of like, even though he was not good at either position he played, but kind of like how Spencer Long went from center to guard, right? Just being able to shift the line around if we have to. He's also a smarter, very high technique guy. The drawbacks on him is size and strength. But as you guys will see when I spoke about Hennessy, I'd much rather my center be intelligent and be technically sound, so that he is making sure that this whole offensive line is cohesive and knows which ways to go to pick up these blitzes. So now in the 4th round, I have to shout out Lights, one of my subscribers here. He told me to check him out. I watched the film, and he told me he could potentially go in the 4th round. I definitely see him as a 4th round pick and somebody I want. Isaiah Hodgins, wide receiver, Oregon State. Another big-bodied receiver, 6'4", can really go up and get it. I think, you have, in this scenario, you bring in Perryman, who's got the speed to blow off the top. You got Pittman and Hodges now, 2 6'4" receivers that can really go up and make the contested catch. You got Jamison Crowder working the slot. Herndon and Griffin at tight end. You have a lot of different options and a lot of big-bodied people. Because even Perryman, I think, is 6'2", if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of guys that could really go up and get it and help Sam Darnold as he continues to progress by being able to make contested catches, have bigger catch radius just because of the size of these individuals. So I really like that to really ramp up this offensive attack in this passing game. In the 5th round, I have us going edge. Whoever's available here in this mock, I had Trayvon Hill from Miami. Obviously, this is going to be a project guy, situational pass rusher. You're never going to get somebody, or rarely will you get somebody in the 5th round that's going to be plug and play. So it's worth the gamble here. He did have a little bit of history with getting in trouble on the field. I think his motions got the best of him one time or something like that I was reading. But in the 5th round, I'm not too concerned with taking a risk on a guy, because if he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. And in the 6th round, I have us getting Blankenship, kicker from Georgia. We really need to solidify this kicker position. It was a mess last year. We look back at it, I mean, the first game of the year, we lose to the Bills because of the kicker. I never want to blame it on kicker. I was a college kicker myself, but we can't have those kind of misses. We need to solidify that position. Blankenship was a very, very good college kicker. I would love to bring in somebody that we can have for a very long period of time and have on the cheap because he's on a rookie contract. So that is what I have for my mock offseason. We shored up the corner spot with Damian Arnett, Roby, and bringing back Poole. We shored up the wide receivers by bringing in Perryman, Pittman, and Hodgins. We shored up the offensive line for sure with Scherf, Thuney, and Andrew Thomas, while bringing back Beecham. We got our center in Nick Harris to compete with Jonathan Harrison. And we took a gamble on edge. So we really didn't address edge. We really didn't address outside linebacker too much. But like I said, we cannot address all concerns in one offseason. Please let me know what you guys think below. What do you guys think about this offseason? What would you do differently? Who do you guys want me to check out in this draft that maybe I didn't mention? So just hit me up in the comments below with any suggestions. And as always, Jet up.